Hey, hey, folks. It's Lunch with Mal, back after a little break, and we are live. Sorry I wasn't around last week. I had a couple of calls and meetings that I couldn't put off, so we had to sacrifice Lunch with Mal. But we're back in business, and it's been May's been fun in the advertising world. Facebook has been making things interesting for us, and I knew it would happen because it always happens around this time of year, but I didn't expect it to happen until June. So it's like an early surprise or something like that. I don't know. Um, but yeah, there's a very good chance that Facebook has broken your ads again, like they did toward at the end of April, and that they're just like, having some fun doing it. And hello, Jill, who is me, saying hi to me, and hello, Dharma, and hi to everybody else. Um, we were all having an absolutely fabulous week. It's been raining here, which is actually really nice because this is a farming community and rain equals good. Um, and also, it gets out on the steppe. It gets really dusty. So, and by step I mean STEPPE, not STEP. Although it also makes the STEP dusty as well. But yeah, it's been really dusty. So getting rain is nice. Um, Keeps that down. Yeah, it is our Jill and my 29th meet in person anniversary when we met Jill and I met on the internet back in 1996 and then met in person technically like last night 29 years ago, but give or take a day. It works. So we are, which also means we are closing in our 29th anniversary as well. Um, which is feels insane that we've been together that long. But yeah, Facebook has broken some new shiny things. A couple weeks ago, I showed you how they flipped most everybody's ads over to Advantage Plus and um, removed a lot of things and worked a lot of things. Look at us, Dharma. We've all been at this for a while. um, but they've broken some new things, and I'm also having some interesting issues with certain ads on certain accounts, and I'm still trying to like work out if that is a Facebook problem or an Amazon problem. Um, one of the things I've definitely been able to test lately and can find is that Amazon is actually lumpy in their reporting. It's not consistent day by day. And I can tell that by looking at like the number of clicks that we send, that get sent to Amazon, and then what Amazon reports. So Facebook will be like sending like this pretty steady number of clicks, and Amazon will be like this with its clicks, which means it's not always capturing everything at the right time and stuff like that. It's pretty wild. So I am curious if anybody else been having problems with Facebook ads of late, things not working, things reverting, weird settings being in place. Um, it's chances are you have been experiencing this, and it's probably been a bit of a roller coaster. But I'm curious if any people had any specific issues, because I'm always interested to know if there are things outside of what I've experienced that could help understand the bigger picture, and then also so I can address maybe some issues on how to deal with those things. But yeah, so let's get to it. So I have an ad that I want to show. I'm going to shrink the on-screen um, text here a little bit. Maybe let's make this regular. There we go. Hopefully that's still readable for anybody who wants to follow the comments on screen, just in case you're watching on um, different platforms, because there's people who watch on Facebook and YouTube and everything. So that will bring it all together. Okay, so with that in mind, let's dive in. I'll embigger this a bit more. There we go. Give everybody the full size and talk about what some things have changed. So one of the things that's altered recently. Hey, Dennis, nice to see you again too. So one of the things that's changed recently is, and you might see different flavors of this, um, but and some of these ads seem to go back and forth. Most of the time now, you're going to see a little logo in the upper right-hand corner of the audience section that says whether Advantage Plus is on or off. That seems to have gone away from some accounts. I actually think that Facebook is rolling things back after the big change they made at the end of April. And so we all got this new system, and it's been rolled back in a lot of cases because this is how things looked earlier in April where there was no little logo in the upper right that said Advantage Plus on or off. I still see that in a bunch of accounts. I don't see it on this one. Um, and the old thing of like to switch back to Advantage Plus, you get this big thing here saying you could get 9.7% lower cost per result. As a side note, by the way, it says that same number for everyone. It's not like an actual intelligent thing. And then if I switch to Advantage Plus, I get the two boxes, and that's the old system. This very account was on the newer system a little while ago, and now it's back on the old system. Um, which means that basically something that's been happening is Facebook's been like mass changing. Oh my goodness, that's a long time to be in learning mode, Dharma. That sucks. Um, think about that. Um, but Facebook's been mass changing our accounts. Crazy things have been happening. Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. So we got to you probably should go in and audit. And this has been like my life for the last couple of weeks. Audit all of your Facebook ads to make sure everything's set up. Because one of the things I've been finding when switching ads back and forth between Advantage Plus and non-Advantage Plus, generally when Facebook does it, not when we do it, they lose the age. The age range gets reset to 18 to 65 entirely. So make sure that's correct. That's one of the things I've been seeing right away. I haven't been seeing gender getting lost. I have seen detailed targeting, if you're using it, evaporate from ads, which is one of the reasons why I'm always like kind of a stickler about I put in my targeting up here in the header so that, or in the ad set name, so I remember what I actually put in and I update it when I make changes as well. Um, so definitely keep that in mind. The other thing that is interesting, this one actually still has the option to turn dynamic creative on if I'd already done it. Some people are seeing dynamic creative being just gone now, and the box just says this is no longer available. So that's one of the first things just to keep an eye on, that your targeting is what you want it to be, because it might have reset again in some strange and unusual fashion. Um, so I'm going to flip this thing back to the original audience settings because that's what I actually want to use for this ad. And it did keep all my settings, so huzzah. The other thing that's happened is I might have talked about this before. They've added value rules for placements. It shouldn't be showing me these rules because these aren't placement rules. It should be showing rules that have placements. But I can't remember if I talked about this last time or not. But you can actually like prioritize certain placements a little bit more. There's not a lot of. I wish there was more options in here. But for example, if you have a reel that you really want to have showing up in the reels and it's like being dominated by the Facebook feeds, you could choose Facebook feed and say decrease my bid by 50% in the Facebook feed because you want to show up on Instagram more often or something like that. And that's a great way, actually, by the way. Like, say I could put in Instagram or put all the Facebook targets in here, and I could decrease my bid by 50% to get my reel to show up more on Instagram because I'm trying to reach a younger audience, and Instagram is where they live. So that's actually a cool thing that they did. That's not something that they broke. That's a pretty cool thing. And then do double check your placements. I've been seeing a couple of ads lately that the placements were not what we had set. The other thing that I have spotted that I think is worth double checking, I've come into a alarmingly large number of accounts, and we go look at the ad, and this bitch is empty. There's no website URL in here. Um, in all of these cases, it seems like the ad was actually still sending people to that place, but also like conversions were down. So I'm not 100% sure that it was working entirely. And then who knows what happens if you saved the ad or Facebook made other one of their updates and saved the ad. And then suddenly it had no website URL in it. It wasn't sending people anywhere. So double check the heck out of that. Just go into all of your ads, make sure that is correct. Also, do enable app deep linking if you're getting that checkbox. What that means is if people have the Facebook app installed, it will then send people to your book page in the Facebook app. And if it's not checked, it might not actually send them to the it'll send them to the Amazon page in the Amazon app. I'm sorry, sometimes I mess these things up and say the wrong one. And if you don't have that enabled, it might just send people to the home page of the Amazon app and not actually your books page in the Amazon app. Obviously, not a big deal for those of you who do direct sales, but still super important. So make sure that that is checked off if you have the option for that, because that's a sort of a new thing. They didn't used to I'm gonna move past that so we don't have that moving video. Ah, it's all moving video. Never mind. We're doomed. Um, so do just make sure that is set. Another thing that has been happening a bunch lately, and luckily I don't actually have this happening on this one, but AI video and or images have been being turned on by default. They will appear here underneath your selected media if that happens. So double check that. Make sure that that if you, unless you did it on purpose, that Facebook hasn't just like turned on some of its own AI media, because I've caught it doing that a couple of times. And I basically never use theirs because, not because there's anything wrong with it. Some of it actually is really good, but the reporting system to see which image is working and which one's not is perennially broken. So I don't do that. And then the other thing that that I've been finding is the call to actions have been sporadically changing. So double check your call to actions, because I saw somebody, oh, what was it now? It was like see menu or something like that that had been set to. And that is no bueno. So absolutely check that as well. And then this is a good thing to do all the time. Just make sure that the enhancements that you want are actually turned on. So you can go in here and you can double check all of the enhancements. Add subtitles is great for videos. In fact, you should absolutely have add subtitles on for videos, because if you're someone like me, I always watch videos muted in bed with Jill sleeping beside me. So I if it doesn't have subtitles, I scroll on past. And then you can turn on things like relevant comments, enhanced CTA, or this one's actually kind of iffy. I should turn this off. This is try it yourself is not the CTA that I want on there. So I'm going to turn that one off. And then reveal details over time. If someone sits and watches it for a bit, it might pop up like a screenshot of your actual site, which can be good. I'm actually, on this particular one, I'm going to nuke that too. Um, yeah, my ad changed too much. There we go. Turn it off. Because I feel like that one probably actually is blocking some stuff. I've already got enough details that show up at the end on this particular ad. So just double check that nothing in here got turned on that you didn't want to turned on. If it's a image ad and not a video ad, the only one I usually turn on is ad overlays. Because what ad overlays will do is it will take some text from your ad and overlay it on the image if people are looking at it for a while. And one of the ones that I found one the other day where it actually was pulling like a really good bit of text from the snip, like the ad actually had like an excerpt from the book, and it was actually pulling like a really good piece of text on the excerpt, and just sticking it over top of the ad for people that have been watching it for a few days, which was super cool. So those are things to watch. Make sure that your age range didn't get changed underneath you to back to the full age range. Um, Make sure that your placements are what you picked and placements haven't changed around on you, and make sure that your detailed targeting is still there all on the ad set page. The other thing to do is to double check that your URL is still on the ad. That's obviously like the most important thing. And then make sure your call to action button hasn't been changed on you as well. Those are the things that I've spotted that have changed on people's ads in the last couple of weeks that you'll want to keep an eye on. The other thing that I've found that's been happening lately, and I'm curious where Dharma, you said your sales ad has been learning for the last 6 days. How many sales has it recorded in the last 6 days? Um, I'm super curious about that. I have a suspicion that Facebook has changed the number of conversions a sales ad needs to hit to come out of learning phase, because it needs to like have some, results to know like, okay, I've actually found the right audience. And I think it might have increased the number of conversions that you need, which makes it harder to run lower spend sales ads. This particular video, by the way, this ad, I expected this thing to be a slam dunk, and it is not being a slam dunk. It's getting clicks like crazy, 750 clicks on this ad in the last week. And so far as I can tell, it's resulted in zero conversions on Amazon. Um, I find that like exceptionally hard to believe, quite honestly. Um, so I'm not entire that's why I'm like some of these things lately, I wonder if this is an Amazon thing or not, if there's just like data delays at AMS. Um, so I'm playing around with a couple of different things because I seem to encounter every now and then an account where nothing converts, and things should absolutely be converting. So I'm kind of curious if anyone's encountering that as well. Is it is sporadic? Like of some accounts, everything's fine. New ads work great. Conversions are fine. Everything does what it's supposed to. Other accounts, just crickets. Um, and it's always a challenge to try and figure out like is that a Facebook thing or an Amazon thing. However, this I'm also running on this particular ad account that's just advertising. It's based around um, this new book is what I'm trying to focus it on. I am getting good conversions on my reader magnet, so and at a reasonable price. So I'm kind of befuddled about that myself right now. 6 to 8 conversions, 6, 7 conversions. Yeah, they I think they've actually increased it to like I suspect they might have increased it to 20 conversions a week to come out of learning. Um, so that might be something to keep an eye on. That's a good ROAS, though. It's a really good ROAS. For those of you who don't know, return on ad spend is what ROAS stands for, and 3.4 basically is like an ROI of 340%. Um, so it is very good. It's making money. Um, yeah, that'll be an interesting thing to watch. So I feel like, man, I feel like that's all I have to say. I feel like I just went through it all. Um, but I think that we're unfortunately, man, I was hoping that Facebook was gonna like finally just like finish rolling out all of their AI stuff and then just make it work well. Um, but instead they've rolled back to where things were in late March, early April from the looks of it. And what that means is they're probably going to roll forward again. After maybe they're going to try working out some bugs and make some other changes, and then they'll roll forward again. So that is something to keep in mind that that we might see them trying another rollout of Mass Advantage Plus switching or something like that. Um, and if they do, like I said, traditionally it's the end of June when they make their big change for the year, and then they give you like 6 months notice. Um, they sort of let you operate in both worlds, and then come January, they say, okay, now the change is permanent and the old way is gone. Um, so that's that's what I expected to happen this year. I didn't expect to have something happen at the end of April, and I kind of wonder if it was a dry run for what they're going to end up doing in June. So we really do keep an eye on your ads. Check them like I would say like every 3 days. Make sure your targeting is correct, all of your settings are right, and that the links are there, the CTAs are correct, everything like that. I know it's a giant pain in the butt, but I think right now it's really prudent for us to do that to double check everything periodically. Dennis said I made more from direct sales this month from Amazon. All I'm doing is pumping my Substack posts until I get enough spend for the summer. That is awesome, Dennis. I have like this Substack account that site I made like as like an example of how to basically build yourself a free author website like a couple of years ago, and I'm getting followers on it all of a sudden. I feel like Substack is like taking off for some reason. I need to actually pay attention to it. That's awesome, Dennis. I'm like really glad for you that you've been doing direct sales. Um, I discovered today that our direct sales on my website were having problems for people in the United States because we moved our business from the United States to Canada, and for whatever reason, credit card purchases weren't processing, and I wasn't getting any messages about it. They weren't showing any errors or anything like that. And luckily, Jill fixed it this morning. She figured out what to do to make it work. But I'm like, oh, how much money did I leave on the table by credit card stuff not processing? Now, I wasn't running any ads, um, paid ads to my website. So at least there was that. But I was telling my readers to go buy my recent releases on my website. And some of them were via PayPal. Those ones were all working. But anybody trying to pay with credit card, it was not. So that was exciting. But I'm more and more all the time on the direct sales train. I plan, like I've mentioned before, this year I will be moving my entire catalog to direct sales. Um, and I'm actually going to reach out to Kobo and see if I can like work out some sort of thing with them for me bringing them all over and having some sort of big promo around that. It's going to be an exciting year. Well, Jill's doing many Kickstarters. I am doing at least one Kickstarter this year, maybe two, because one of my best novels is hitting its 10-year anniversary this year. So I might do a new a Kickstarter for that. And I have this guy, Yui Jarling, who does like movie posters and all sorts of really wild art and stuff like that, is doing a cover that could work for that one. So I'm kind of thinking like maybe that will be like my 10-year anniversary cover for this book. Um, that's interesting, Dharma. For my targeting countries, US, Canada, Australia. I wonder, like I'm curious how many impressions you're getting. Um, in those two in the other countries, because sometimes I found if you give Facebook a bunch of different countries to target, it kind of makes weird decisions about where to actually show the ad. And you'll see, like, I remember one time this one customer we were doing that with, and the US was just not getting any impressions at all. Everywhere else is getting impressions, but US wasn't getting it at all. Are you doing anything special for your 10-year anniversary on your first novel, Dharma? That's always it's always exciting. My 2022 was my first novel's 10-year anniversary, and I guess Jill's would have been 2021. Her first published novel, of course. Um, but special edition Kickstarters are always pretty cool. Fans absolutely love those. And you add in other things to go along with it. You can do pretty well. Um, I'm also this year I'm ramping up again. I'm writing a lot more than I used to, and and actually able to spend hours a day every day doing words, which is super freaking awesome. Um, and like next month I have 3 books coming out. This month I have 2. July I have nothing planned because I have a monster book coming out in August, and I need to have it ready um, as much as possible, as early as possible for my editor to start going over. Yeah, it's pretty stoked, pretty exciting. I'm pretty stoked. Um, just like your comment there, I'm not sure what I'm doing. I read that in a vacuum without the context of the previous statement. It just struck me. It's like, who am I? Why am I here? I'm not sure what I'm doing at all. July and September, July and September are fun times. Yes, but I do have one book I have to get done. It's my most important release of the year. Comes out August 29th, which is no August 20th, which is an okay time to release a book. Honestly, I should probably move it until like the second week of September if I was smart. Um, just because you do a release and then you hit Labor Day weekend like a week later. Um, Although I feel like for my readership, it won't be a big deal. It's worse for, and this is just the unfortunate reality of it. If you want ads um, for women, if you're writing books primarily targeted at women, they tend to be busier at those times of years. Kids going back to school, celebrations, all that sort of thing. Sending kids off to college, that tends to put more labor on women. Um, Not because it should, just because it does, and that can actually sometimes cause reads to dip at those times. My audience is primarily men, and they're also primarily older, and not like in any sort of caring roles or anything like that. So I tend to do a little bit better on vacations. In fact, depending on your audience, you can actually find sometimes that like Thanksgiving is a lower read time for women and it's a higher read time for men. Um, it's commentary on society, but it is also like just sort of the reality of how things work. Um, so that's something to think about for me, I guess. Maybe I should move my release. Um, but I also because I have a release coming out on the 29th, um, that is going to be timed with an anime movie coming out from one of my books, which I'm super stoked about. Which I have to finish writing that book this month to get that all buttoned up. Um, yeah, it's pretty awesome, and I haven't really announced it anywhere yet, so you guys are kind of hearing it. Actually, it's my newsletter. No, I did mention it on Facebook as well, so this is not the first time I'm announcing it, but yeah, it's wild and exciting, and it's so cool to really be back in the creative side of authordom after a few years of just focusing on the marketing side of authordom. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Yeah, and Dharma, it's following my Rika character. It's actually a pretty complex book. It's got like 3 main groups of people all kind of coming together. So there's like, I don't know, there's probably 30 major named characters. So the movie might strip that back a bit just to keep it simpler. But I'm pretty stoked about that. And I got like already got money from the people making the movie. So that's because I'm not paying for it. People came to me and gave me money to make an anime movie for one of my books. So I'm stoked about that. Um, and they're sort of like I'm excited to see what the whole process, how the whole process plays out and everything. I think my fans will love it. Oh, I suppose you are doing a 14. Is yeah, Time Trap was? No, didn't Time Trap come out in December? No, I'm thinking of Dream Slayer. I was thinking December 2020, December 2011, but that was Dream Slayer that came out December 2011. Time Trap's 2012. 2012, I mean. Yeah, you know what? That's close up to 15 years, honey. I say go for it. Jill also has a movie coming out for that book. So that's super exciting too. Um, so I feel like I kind of talked about what I want to talk about. I thought it was gonna be longer going through the things that Facebook broke that you're gonna need to go in and check. But I don't have it. Oh, actually, no, there is one other thing. I've been discovering this scenario where some campaigns are just broken and they will never serve to the right people and they will never convert. Um, this used to happen pure like sporadically, like very rare, like 1 in 100 or less. And now it seems to be like 1 in 10 campaigns can just break and somehow serve to the entire wrong audience, and there's nothing you can do to fix it. So if you've got campaigns, and then they'll break in one of two ways actually. One will be they just serve to 100% the wrong people because you get no conversions off the campaign. And if that happens, you have to manually recreate a new campaign. Don't try duplicating or anything like that. And then the other scenario is that they convert okay, but the cost per clicks are ridiculously high. So, and if that happens as well, you've also got to manually recreate. So those are the two other ways lately that I've been seeing Facebook ads just kind of bork um, and not work properly. So do look out for those two issues as well. And then, keep tuning in every week, live or watching it later. I know we actually get like the lion's share of people who watch Lunch with Mal do it later, which is super cool. Nod to all you folks. Thanks for hanging out on your own time, which is what I would do too. Actually, I never watch anything live. Um, but yeah, do keep tuning back every Thursday because I'm keeping an eye, obviously, on everything Facebook's doing, trying to sort it out. And I am still working on my system where I'm aggregating data from a lot of different ads to try and find some meta analysis. And I'm starting to get a couple of findings. I have to basically make like a UI that doesn't like disclose customer information. And then I can start maybe showing some stuff out of that too. So some pretty cool stuff coming down the pipe there. Um, Horse Wizvet said, "Can you dupe them, or do you need to start a new ad set? You need to start a whole new campaign. You cannot dupe when you have one that does that. Either the just zero conversions for no good reason, or the CPCs are stupid high. Duping will just bring all the badness over with it. So you have to go brand new whenever that happens. Um, you search your Amazon sales from direct sales ads. That's interesting, Dharma. I mean that's obviously a thing that happens. Um, it's interesting that you're getting a surge. I find that to be pretty fascinating. I feel like I'm starting to feel like Amazon is going the way of the dodo. So it's pretty cool that you're seeing that. Um, surges are great no matter where they come from, right? All right, folks, I'm gonna jet. I hope you all have a wonderful Thursday, a great Friday, and a super awesome weekend. Is this the long weekend in the US? No, it's the following weekend. We just had the May long weekend in Canada and it snowed, which is unheard of. It's stupid that it snowed in the May long weekend in Canada. Um, but I hope you guys in the States have a good weekend in 2 weeks. All right. Bye, everyone. Have a good one.